All right, today we're diving into a classic. It's an animated show that looks, like it's just about two clumsy handymen. But if you look a little closer, there's this surprisingly deep message about failure, creativity, and just unstoppable optimism. So let's grab our tools and figure out what makes the chaos of Pat&Mat so special. So let's just start with this question right here. Because honestly, this is the engine that drives every single episode. It sets up a world where the simplest little task isn't just a task. Nope. It's a launchpad for absolute wonderful chaos. So who are our heroes? Well, meet Pat and Matt. They're these two super well-meaning neighbors, always ready to help, who are constantly running into tiny household problems. A loose tile, a door that squeaks, a picture that's hanging crooked, the kind of stuff we all face. The real difference is in how they decide to tackle it. And this slide just perfectly captures the entire joke of the show. Their goal is always so simple, right? Totally straightforward. But their method? Oh man, it defies all logic. It spirals out of control and usually ends with them demolishing half the house just to fix that one little thing. This is what makes them so great. They're not just clumsy, okay? They're what you might call DIY disaster minds. They walk into every single job with 100% confidence. And here's the kicker, they're actually pretty skilled with their tools. They just happen to use that skill in the most backwards, unbelievable way you could possibly imagine. And here's the thing about all this chaos. It's not random. Oh no. It follows this very specific, very predictable, and absolutely hilarious pattern. Every single episode is built on this fantastic four-step formula. Okay, so here's how it always goes down. It starts with something tiny, then they come up with some wild, imaginative, and usually way too complicated solution, which of course makes everything worse and creates a much bigger problem. But, and this is the best part, they somehow against all odds end up with a solution that works in its own weird way. And then you get that classic triumphant handshake. And we have to talk about the tools for a second, because they're a huge part of the show's charm. The animation is famous for being incredibly detailed. All the tools look real, the hammers, the drills, the clamps, everything. And that's what makes it so funny when you see them using these perfectly good tools for absolutely the wrong job. This chart just sums it all up, doesn't it? I mean, look at this. Their confidence is always through the roof. Their actual skill with a drill or a saw? Surprisingly high. But the chance of a normal, positive outcome? Almost zero. And that huge gap between their confidence and the result? That's where all the magic happens. But listen, if you think this show is just about watching stuff go wrong, you are only seeing half the picture. There is something much, much deeper going on here. There's this whole philosophical core hiding under all that mess. This quote really gets to the heart of it. Even with all the destruction, all the failure, the show is, at its core, optimistic. It's not celebrating getting things right, it's celebrating the spirit of just trying, no matter what happens. And what's so important here is that they never, ever get discouraged. For them, a new, bigger problem isn't a disaster. It's just another puzzle they get to solve. They don't see setbacks. They see a chance to get even more imaginative. Their resilience is basically their superpower. I mean, think about it. When we mess up a project at home, we get frustrated, maybe even a little desperate, and sometimes we just give up. Not Pat and Matt. They'll accidentally knock a hole in the wall, and their first thought is, hey, we could turn this into a new doorway. Their optimism is a force of nature. Okay, so there's one last ingredient that makes this show so unforgettable, and that's the sound. The soundtrack by Petroskumel is just iconic. It's charming, you know it the second you hear it, and it's really the soul of the whole thing. I mean, the characters never speak, so the music does all the emotional work. It creates this feeling of warmth and fun that just perfectly matches their can-do attitude. So what's the secret sauce here? What makes Pat and Matt so timeless? It's this perfect recipe. You've got the comedy of knowing things are about to go terribly wrong. You've got this incredibly optimistic philosophy. You've got a simple story anyone in the world can understand because there are no words. And it's all held together by that incredible nostalgic music. And all of that leaves us with a final thought. Pat and Matt teach us that sometimes the wrong way to do something leads to the most fascinating result. It's a masterclass in creative problem solving. So just think about this for a second. When was the last time a mistake didn't stop you, but instead, it actually forced you to come up with a truly ingenious solution?